What's up, guys? Peacemaker Season 2 was even bigger and better than the first season. With a great returning cast and some new faces, it was action-packed and hilarious. So, let's get into it. Episode 1 starts with a recap of Season 1, but now it's been somewhat retconned. Instead of the Justice League showing up at the end, it's now the Justice Gang from the Superman film. This means that the DCEU isn't canon at all anymore, and they completely erased it from the timeline. We go to present day where Peacemaker is at home and goes through a portal into a room where his equipment is kept. All of a sudden, a strange alien walks into the room and incinerates a dead hairless cat. His pet eagle, Eagly, flies over to another door and wants Peacemaker to go through. When he does, he ends up in an alternate timeline where his father is still alive and they're part of a team called the Top Trio. After a new wild dancing intro, we jump to 6 months later. A.R.G.U.S picks up Peacemaker and takes him to a meeting with the Justice Gang, who are looking to possibly recruit him. Maxwell Lord and the Justice Gang are interviewing Peacemaker and are talking shit about him, but they leave their mics on and he can hear everything they're saying. Meanwhile, Harcourt is talking to a therapist who says she's too aggressive to be employed by the NSA, so she gets fired. Afterward, she goes home and finds Peacemaker waiting for her, so they reconnect. He tries to tell her how he feels about her, but she's not into it. Hearing that, he just goes home and does a bunch of drugs, which ends up turning into a crazy orgy party where people are just fucking all over the house. As that's going on, a.k.a. is staking out the party in a van outside. The new head of A.R.G.U.S, Rick Flag Sr., tells him to go investigate the party. Peacemaker drunkenly goes back into the portal and goes back through the door to the alternate dimension he found before. There, he stumbles into his brother, who in his universe died when they were kids. And it seems like his dad is a good guy, and they're heroes in this universe. Back in the regular universe, Harcourt goes to a bar and gets hit on by a sketchy dude, so she ends up fighting him and the whole bar, pretty much. As Peacemaker is examining his alternate family's home, the Peacemaker from that universe returns and the two fight. The brawl spills out into the portal room, where the alternate Peacemaker gets impaled and dies. In episode 2, we go back 8 months ago, and Rick Flag replaced Amanda Waller as the head of A.R.G.U.S. A.R.G.U.S is showing him around the office. He gets the files from the Suicide Squad movie, which shows that Peacemaker killed his son in Culture Maltese. After reading through it, he develops a hatred for Peacemaker and orders A.R.G.U.S to keep tabs on him. Back in the portal room, Peacemaker is trying to hide the body of his alternate self. Meanwhile, A.R.G.U.S is in his van when another agent named Flurry shows up to help him watch over Peacemaker. The whole time, Flurry starts acting weird and is rubbing A.R.G.U.S' shoulders and stuff. After he keeps being weird for a while, another agent named Bordeaux tells him to keep an eye on A.R.G.U.S because they don't trust him. After that, Peacemaker gets Vigilante to help him chop up the alternate Peacemaker into pieces and get rid of the body. Later that night, the group all meets up to hang out on Harcourt's roof, as Flurry leads a strike team to break into Peacemaker's house. But once they get there, Eagly single-handedly takes them all out. Back on the rooftop, Peacemaker tries to talk to Harcourt again, but it doesn't end well. After going back home, he decides to go to the alternate universe because in that timeline, he and Harcourt used to be a couple. Episode 3 starts off 3 years earlier, with Harcourt, who's been sleeping with Rick Flag Jr. Peacemaker wakes up in the alternate universe, where he now has to go meet with the alternate Harcourt. They had broken up a while back, but she still agreed to see him. Peacemaker finds out that the alternate him is loved by the whole town. One chick even shows him her boobs. Back in the regular universe, the group is hungover at Harcourt's house, and Vigilante starts annoying them by saying his favorite animal is a spider. It's a pretty hilarious scene because Harcourt looks so annoyed by everything that he says. When Peacemaker gets to A.R.G.U.S to talk to alternate Harcourt, he runs into Rick Flag Jr. And it's extremely awkward. Flag almost seems clingy over Harcourt and a little overprotective. Peacemaker hits it off with alternate Harcourt and they click really well. And then Peacemaker becomes blinded by it all. All of a sudden, a bomb goes off in the park and a group called the Sons of Liberty are staging an even bigger bomb nearby. So Peacemaker goes after them and takes the whole group out one by one using random stuff. He kills one guy with a pencil. Back in the regular universe, Bordeaux puts a team together to kill Eagly, and they plan on arresting Peacemaker for owning the portal. Economist wants no part of it, so Bordeaux partners him with the newest agent, who turns out to be Judo Master. In episode 4, we go back 35 years ago, where a young Chris and Keith are hunting in the woods with A.R.G.U.S. They come across a strange creature and A.R.G.U.S blows its head off immediately. Then, they find a door to the portal room, which is apparently where the creature was headed. Back in present day, A.R.G.U.S is traveling to Peacemaker's house to kill Eagly and take possession of the portal room door. But along the way, they all start arguing and can't seem to get on the same page. Economist tries to text Peacemaker to let him know they're on the way, but it's too late. Then, Red Saint Wild, the guy they brought in to kill Eagly, finds some eagle shit in the backyard and he just eats it, trying to track them. It's weird how casual he is about it. Right before this, Peacemaker and Eagly escaped out into the woods, carrying a device that he got back in the day from the creature they found in the woods, which is the device that generates the portal. As Judo Master catches up to Peacemaker and fights him, Wild is about to kill Eagly, but Economist shoulder tackles him, causing him to hit his head on a rock. And I'm pretty sure he's dead. No, wait, no he's not. He just wakes up and starts talking about more eagles. As A.R.G.U.S picks up Peacemaker, we learn that A.R.G.U.S didn't create the door to the portal room at all. Like I said, it was the one that was found by the creature at the beginning. Back at Peacemaker's house, A.R.G.U.S makes Economist break into the portal room, but Peacemaker uses the device to move the portal door at the last second, so when Bordeaux opens the door, it's just a regular closet. As that's going on, Flag goes to meet with Harcourt and tells her the only way she can be rehired is if she brings in Peacemaker. So, when Peacemaker asks her to meet up, she has A.R.G.U.S follow her there. Episode 5 starts off 3 years ago at Rick Flag's funeral. Rick Flag Sr. is talking to Harcourt and is trying to get her to tell him who killed her son. But she won't tell him who it is. She does tell him that one day she'll make sure whoever did it pays. Back in present day, Harcourt is at the park waiting for Peacemaker to show up. A.R.G.U.S is staking out the area and keeps trying to take Peacemaker out with a sniper rifle, but he keeps interacting with people and obstructing the shot. Harcourt tries to tell him to leave, but he's too focused on asking if she has any feelings for him. Just then, Bordeaux tries to kill him, but Harcourt jumps in and chokes him out instead, allowing A.R.G.U.S to capture him. Back at A.R.G.U.S, Harcourt has Economist book Peacemaker so that there's actually a record on file for detaining him, because she's afraid that if they don't, they'll just kill him. As that's going on, Flag has Peacemaker in an interrogation room and starts beating the shit out of him Batman style. But because he got booked, they had to let him go, and A.R.G.U.S comes to pick him up. This whole time, Wild's been hunting Eagly in the woods and keeps trying to kill him, but it keeps backfiring. All of a sudden, he gets surrounded by a group of eagles who gang up on him and peck him to death. Later on, as Peacemaker returns home, Judo Master has been watching him from outside. When A.R.G.U.S and Vigilante show up, it's too late. Peacemaker went into the portal and closed it behind him, with Judo Master following him inside. Afterward, the group declares they're going to use the device to get Peacemaker back. In episode 6, the top trio is celebrating a win over a giant kaiju at a local restaurant, along with the alternate Harcourt. Back in the regular universe, the group goes to Vigilante's house to use the device and ends up running into Vigilante's mom, who embarrasses the hell out of him. Apparently he told his mom that he and Harcourt were a couple. So they set the device up in the basement and open a portal, but not before getting showered with cocaine that Vigilante had stored down there. Inside the portal, they find the door that leads into the alternate universe. Economist sees the alien from the first episodes and calls it a xenomorph. It's a pretty funny scene. As they're checking out the top trio mansion, Harcourt gets intercepted by Keith and he takes her to A.R.G.U.S to meet Peacemaker, thinking that she's the alternate one. Right when they get there, Peacemaker walks in and sees the regular Harcourt. Meanwhile, Vigilante goes off on his own to meet his alternate self. Back in the regular universe, Flag goes to prison to meet with Lex Luthor, the one from the Superman film, and asks him to locate Peacemaker's portal device. Then, back in the alternate universe, Peacemaker and Harcourt have a heart-to-heart. He tells her that he's in love with her, and it looks like she just wants to say it back. But she doesn't. She just wants him to come back home with them. As both Vigilantes get to know each other, the alternate Vigilante turns out to be Peacemaker's arch-enemy, as opposed to being his friend. As A.R.G.U.S is out walking around, the truth about the alternate universe gets revealed. It's actually a Nazi whites-only universe, and she ends up getting chased down the street by an angry mob. In episode 7, alternate Harcourt shows up to A.R.G.U.S and the guards try to detain the real one. but her and Peacemaker kick the guards' asses and get away. After that, A.R.G.U.S is getting chased by the angry mob and gets saved by Judo Master, who electrocutes the mob in a nearby swimming pool. Back at the mansion, Augie has Economist tied up and he tells Augie the truth about what's been going on. For some reason, Augie believes him and then he and Keith suit up to go after Peacemaker. As that's going on, Peacemaker and Harcourt are being chased by the police when they end up getting surrounded. But suddenly, Augie and Keith arrive and blow the police up, saving them. In the regular universe, Flag and Bordeaux enlist the help of a guy that worked for Lex Luthor in the Superman movie, and they have him track the device. Back in the alternate universe, things get out of hand. Peacemaker, Economist, and Harcourt are talking with Augie and Keith, who all seem to be on the same page, and Augie tells them they need to find A.R.G.U.S and get her out of there. But just then, both vigilantes jump through a window and stab Augie to death. As the police show up, a big shootout ensues, ending with Vigilante killing the cops. Then the group makes a run for the portal as Peacemaker mourns the loss of Augie. Out of nowhere, Keith attacks Peacemaker and the group jumps him, severely hurting him. The group makes it through the portal just as A.R.G.U.S surrounds Vigilante's house. Now back in the regular universe, Peacemaker hands over the device to A.R.G.U.S, who arrests him on the spot. In the finale, we go back a month ago, where Peacemaker and Harcourt are out drinking and seemingly on a date. They end up on a pier where they go on a rock cruise. In present day, Peacemaker has been sitting in jail while A.R.G.U.S tries to find their way into the portal and is investigating the various doors to find a world that shares similarities to Earth. Flag set up a base inside Lex's old command center from the Superman film. The team goes through a door that leads to a world with candy growing out of the ground, but they're suddenly all attacked by little furry creatures. As Harcourt shoots them, they explode into glitter. After that, A.R.G.U.S talks Vigilante into using all the drug money he's stolen from criminals to bail Peacemaker out of jail. We then get a montage of A.R.G.U.S going into different doorways. One leads to an apocalyptic world with crawling skulls, and another has zombies. As more A.R.G.U.S members die off from the various encounters, Flag is just partying it up. He doesn't care at all. But they do end up finding a universe similar to Earth, and they call it Salvation. Later on, Flag unveils his plan to the Secretary of Defense, that he plans on using Salvation as a prison for metahumans. After learning this, Bordeaux has a change of heart and tells Harcourt what Flag's plan is. As Peacemaker is hanging out at a local hotel, we get a flashback of him and Harcourt on the rock cruise, a subject that's been brought up a lot throughout the season, and it's something that Harcourt doesn't want to remember. They share a moment during a concert and they kiss, but she quickly runs off afterward. Back at the command center, Economist distracts A.R.G.U.S while Harcourt and Bordeaux use the computers to find Peacemaker. The group finds him and basically has to subdue him to keep him from leaving town, because he feels like he just failed everybody and wants to run away. Anyway, they talk him down and Harcourt finally admits that what happened on the rock cruise meant something to her, which is all Peacemaker wanted to hear to begin with. So, along with Bordeaux and Flurry, the group creates a new agency called Checkmate, feeling that A.R.G.U.S has now become corrupt. As everything seems to be going well, A.R.G.U.S kidnaps Peacemaker and leaves him stranded inside Salvation. The end. Well, that was pretty wild. Not as good as Season 1, but parts of it were really good. I like how Peacemaker and Harcourt finally established a relationship, and how he found that alternate dimension. But what about the plot twist that it was a Nazi world? That was crazy. Also, Flag's plot was alright. It continued the story from Suicide Squad. But I felt like it should have come to a head in the finale, not left Peacemaker stranded in Salvation. I guess they have plans for something else later in the DCU. Anyway, that was Peacemaker Season 2. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you later.